News.
An American Airlines flight collides with a military helicopter above Reagan National Airport in Washington. What you're looking at right here is a live look at the rescue operations that are underway right now on a very cold night in Washington as crews in the water look for survivors in the Potomac River. This could become one of the worst aviation disasters in U.S. airspace in years. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm David Wade. We are literally learning new details every minute. And an Army official is now saying it was an Army Black Hawk helicopter that collided with that regional jet. Brandon Truitt joins us in studio now and is following the breaking news as it's been coming in. Brandon.
Well, David and Lisa, the Department of Defense just minutes ago confirming that 3 soldiers were on board that helicopter. American Airlines says there are 60 passengers on board their aircraft and 4 crew members. Now, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, where American Airlines' headquarters, says there are fatalities in this crash, but at this hour, we don't know how many lives were lost. I want to show you this video, though, from EarthCam. It appears to show the mid-air collision. It happened, as we understand, around 9 this evening. The passenger plane was just moments from landing there at Reagan International Airport when it collided with that large military helicopter. The plane was arriving from Wichita, Kansas. Now, right now, it is an all-hands and frantic effort as you're getting these live images of the search happening at the Potomac River. It borders the runways there at Reagan, if you're familiar with it. There are boats in the water, helicopters in the air, of course, as they're all searching for survivors. CBS News is reporting that they're really looking at a half mile to a mile's worth of that river there. The water is frigid at this hour, as much as the East Coast has really been trapped in a cold snap. So time is of the essence here. It is worth reporting that airport is at a ground stop at this moment. All of that airport's attention is on the search and rescue efforts that are currently underway. We were able to speak with CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve, who explained what's really happening there now.
Well, we understand there is an active rescue operation underway to try to get whoever may be in the water out of the Potomac River after what appears to be a collision between the CRJ 700. It would have been operating as an American Airlines flight, would have been painted as American Eagle. It's operated by PSA, which is an airline owned by American Airlines, and a military Black Hawk helicopter. This area is not far from Bolling Air Force Base. It's right across the river from Washington Reagan. It appears that as this plane was coming into land, not far from the airport at all, on final approach, it somehow collided with a helicopter. D.C. Fire, D.C. Police are on scene. Coast Guard is on scene. You have a lot of resources rushing there to see who they can help.
The White House is telling us now President Trump has been briefed on this. There are several agencies working together to investigate how this happened. CBS News reporting the NTSB is going to be the lead on this case. This marks the first major commercial airline accident in the U.S. since 2009, David.
Wow. All right, Brandon, thank you.
And we just got a statement from President Trump, quote, "I have been fully briefed on the terrible accident which just took place at Reagan National Airport. May God bless their souls. Thank you for the incredible work being done by our first responders. I am monitoring the situation and will provide more details as they arise." The Washington Post reporting in just the past couple of minutes that Maryland State Police have also joined this search with divers who are now in the Potomac River looking. They have launched boats from 2 separate locations, inflatable boats, in the hopes of finding survivors on this cold night.
You can see it here in the picture. You can see so many crews in the water. Top of your screen, you can see all of the emergency vehicles lined up alongside the banks of the Potomac River, as well as Brandon mentioned, 37 degrees about tonight in Washington, D.C. Water is at about 42 degrees. Just reading up on that. You can usually survive about 15-20 minutes in that water before there is hypothermia. So there is really a time of the essence type of situation here in Washington, D.C. We did hear from CBS travel correspondent Peter Greenberg a short time ago. Let's listen into his thoughts on this unfolding tragedy.
Well, as the rescue crews are basically surrounding what's left of both the helicopter and the CRJ 700, the National Transportation Safety Board is already en route. They have different go teams assigned to this investigation. Human factors, metallurgy, engine performance, you name it. and they're going to be trying to get both the CVR, the cockpit voice recorder, and the other black box called the FDR, the flight data recorder, from the tail. The CVR will give you the last 30 minutes of conversation in the cockpit and from the cockpit, and the flight data recorder will give you all the other parameters: engine performance, temperature, speed, altitude, and any other activity the plane was doing. Now, here's the interesting thing about this particular incident. The Washington, D.C. airport, both Reagan and Dulles, but especially Reagan, is heavily controlled and restricted airspace. Other airports have it too. It's called a TCA, a terminal control area. Nobody can fly into it or around it or above it without transponding and signaling to the control tower that will allow them into that airspace. So one of those two planes, meaning either the helicopter or the jet, was not supposed to be there. There's every reason to indicate that the jet was on a proper approach. He was on his final approach, about 375 feet to runway 33. The question is, what was the helicopter doing there? And that's what they're going to try to figure out.
Obviously, a big part of the investigation as we try to piece together what exactly happened here. Again, CBS News hearing that there were 60 passengers who were on board this plane, 4 crew members as well, and thoughts and prayers right now, hoping that there could be some rescues here in the Potomac River.